This is All India Radio. In the program Spotlight, now we bring you a discussion on cabinet decision. The participants are Shekhar Iyer, political analyst, and Neelabh Srivastav, journalist.
The Union Cabinet today met under the chairmanship of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and some very important decisions taken today. At least 5 major decisions are largely to do with post-COVID situation, the coronavirus situation and the emerging lockdown after that, and the kind of hit that has taken by the poor strata of the society, the migrant laborers and the underprivileged. And the government has had so many schemes in order to ensure that food and other essential items reach the needy. Ayazab, the entire thrust of the government has been that all those marginalized sections who have been hit by the coronavirus pandemic and the ensuing lockdown are taken care of, and basic necessities like food are addressed. So what is this Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana and its extension? How important is that?
Today's cabinet decisions are basically giving effect to Prime Minister Narendra Modi's announcement of June 30th, wherein he had announced the extension of this world's largest food security program, which is as soon as the COVID-19 had started appearing in different parts of our country, we saw the country going for a lockdown. So soon after that, government had announced for 3 months, April, May, June, they will distribute 5 kilograms of rice or wheat and 1 kilogram of pulses to all the people, whether they are card holders or non-card holders, all over the country. Government of India decided that this scheme should be continued for at least 5 more months. Actually, the request was for another 3 months, like April, May, June, then June, July, August, September. But we have seen that the Prime Minister decided that this should be continued to full 5 months so that there is no distress among the very poor people as far as the food security is concerned, because the larger goal is no family should go hungry any day. So therefore, this is one of the biggest schemes. So today the Cabinet actually gave approval in detail to this scheme. 81 crore beneficiaries have to be covered. These are people who are already being covered under the National Food Security Act. Apart from that, this will also cover other people. Now that it will continue up to from July to November. So that gives them a lot of cushion at this Anna scheme. This is providing food. And also what is more important is today, Cabinet went through all the details of how this is going to be achieved, because in terms of logistics, itself is a huge exercise. We saw that Prime Minister had set up a committee of secretaries under Parmeshwar Iyer just to look at the logistics part, because there should be smooth flow of essential grains from the warehouses, from the FCI and other warehouses to the PDS points. And similarly, on the highways, nowhere the essential goods should be stuck. So we have seen a lot of smooth activity has happened in this last 3 months. Now that it will continue. The FCI and other state agencies have delivered more than 116.5 lakh metric tons to all the states for distribution under the scheme. Already they have done. That is between April and June. And because in some states have given them in 2-3 months thing at one go for logistical reasons. So therefore we are going to see a huge supply of grains that will be made. And the total requirement of food grain is estimated at about 32 million tons. And in that, the subsidy component itself is 1,22,000 crore. So this is a huge exercise. And along with that, the Cabinet has also approved, if you would have seen, regarding the distribution of pulses, because the free of cost whole chana, that is, will be given for 5 months from July to November. So this is also an important part of scheme, Garib Kalyan Anna scheme. So therefore, this scheme also got approval today. So it will go on till November.
The briefing of the cabinet was today addressed by 2 Union Cabinet Ministers, Mr. Prakash Javadekar and Mr. Narendra Singh Tomar. So they also described that the migrant laborers who had returned back to their native places in the wake of the lockdown, they have also been included in this free ration scheme. There is also some concerns that those who do not have a ration card will also be included in the scheme. The second important decision, Mr. Iyer, was also about the Ujjwala Yojana. Now, this we know is about the clean fuel or the liquefied petroleum gas, as we call it, the cooking gas that was being given to at least the beneficiaries. As per the government data, is about 7 crore 40 lakh women. 3 cylinders are given free under the scheme, and this has now been extended to till September, and about 13,500 crore is the expenditure.
Yes, this Ujjwala scheme was also announced part of the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana, as you mentioned. Now the government has extended it further 3 months, that is July, August, September. because what had happened, there were reports that many people had not availed of the cylinders which had already been allotted to them. Therefore, the extension by another 3 months will enable them to purchase the refill. Thus, the beneficiaries who already have the advance transfer to their account, because this is given by direct benefit transfer to their bank account, and from that they can buy. So now they can get free refill delivery till the 30th September. Which is again, giving them more cushion. And because many of these Ujjwala Yojana beneficiaries don't yet utilize the advance credited to their amount. So therefore, the Ministry of Petroleum suggested to the Cabinet that this proposal may be extended by another 3 months. So those who already have the money credited to them can go ahead and purchase it, because you see, the Garib family has got the food grain now supplied by the government. Now they would also need the required fuel to do the cooking, to provide food for their families. So this is a very considerate decision that takes into account every expenditure that is involved in an average family to provide food for them. Because with this lockdown, many people are without jobs. As we discussed, they have gone back home because they had migrated to cities for job. Now they are back in their own villages. But with the provision of the food grains and this Ujjwala scheme, lot of suffering or difficulty that they were facing on account of lockdown can be mitigated.
The third important decision that was taken by the cabinet today was for the people who have been most affected by the post-COVID lockdown. This is about the government now putting in the EPF contribution. What we understand from the briefing of the cabinet by the two union ministers is that the government would now be making the PF contribution for all those people who have salaries less than 15,000 per month, and also for companies where 100 or less people are employed. And what Mr. Prakash Javadekar informed is that this, by way of extension, will give 12% more in the hands of the laborers, so that their EPF contribution is given in their hand, and also save 12% at the same time for the owners or the company proprietors or the promoters. They're already suffering from the weak economy and less production and manufacturing, and that is why this will ensure money in both the workers and for the employer.
This is another decision which was part of that package, original package that was announced by the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman ji, which is that the government will provide that employees as well as employers contribution to the EPF. First it was announced for 3 months from March, April, June. Now they have decided that another 3 months must be covered. So you are going to see June, July, August will also be covered under the Garib Kalyan Yojana because of the pandemic. And first you had the March, April, May. Now it is going to be June, July, August. So the total expenditure is 4,860 crore, and more than 72 lakh employees in about 3.6 lakh establishments will be benefited, because these establishments, many of them are closed. They are not even getting salaries. But government doesn't want their EPF contribution to be affected on this account. So therefore, the money will be paid by the government in these EPF accounts. And of course, there are certain criteria. These establishments will have to have 100 employees, and 90% of such employees should be earning less than 15,000 as monthly wage. This is a very important decision, so that their payrolls should not be affected despite the disruption. Because the employers are also saying that they are not in a position to make their contribution. Normally the contribution is 12% of the employee share and 12% of the employee share. So together it makes for 24%. So this 24% will be now taken care for another 3 months. So in all, government has made provision for 6 months of EPF of the employees will be taken care.
Very interesting of the decisions, or very timely, was about the existing vacant government-funded housing complexes in large cities. And this is essentially for the urban migrants or poor. And the government has now said that in about 107 cities, all these one-bedroom hall kitchen type of flats can be given out on very easy amount of rent to the needy, to the people who are migrant to the bigger cities. And that is why this will be, say, about 107,000 houses estimated can be given to the people, a big relief for people who are looking for rented places to live in urban cities, Mr. Iyer.
Yes, actually, this is also a decision that was announced as part of the Finance Minister's 21 lakh crore package, if you remember. And in that it was decided that the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs will initiate a scheme called Affordable Rental Housing Complexes, that is ARHCS, which will be a part of Prime Minister's Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. Is an ongoing project where money is given for building houses for the very poor. Now, what we noticed during this pandemic was there was a massive reverse migration of workers from the urban cities to the rural side or to small areas. And the reason was that They were leaving the cities because they could no longer pay the rent. That was one of the main, since the lockdown had caused a loss of employment for them. They could not afford to stay in cities because they had to pay rent to private accommodation. Now here is a very novel scheme. The idea is, which is part of the vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat, where, there will be a scheme where various methods can be done, but the idea is that whatever houses that are already livable, whatever, if it can be repaired or retrofit, so maintenance of rooms with basic infrastructure, like water, sewers, seepage, sanitation, roads, etc. These structures will be created. And the idea is to do it through transparent bidding process where the states and union territories will be asked to select the concessionaire who will manage these rental complexes, and this will be available to these people. And this is a very important decision, particularly to meet the problem faced by these poor migrant workers. Now, the government is special incentives, concession loan to all these concessionaires who are willing to go for this affordable housing for the poor. And if they have their own available land, they can do it. The whole idea is they should look at creating this kind of facilities for the next 25 years. So the whole idea is that a large part of our workforce, which is in the manufacturing industry or who are service providers in hospitality or in construction sectors, they will have an affordable housing. And if a situation like pandemic comes, they don't have to immediately leave everything and run back to their villages. It's actually going to create a new ecosystem in the urban areas, making houses available for, and that too on rent. The most important part is Prime Minister Awas Yojana is you own your home. You help the poor family to live in their own home. But this is the rental one. So what the government is looking at is also whether whatever housing stock that is available in the government, that can also be converted into affordable rental housing complexes. So this is a very important project.
Another decision that got approval of the cabinet today was about the capital infusion of 12,450 crore in 3 public sector insurance companies. Now these companies are Oriental Insurance Company, the National Insurance Company Limited, and the United India Insurance Company. This is a decision that Mr. Prakash Javadekar, during the press briefing, he said that this is to make these companies more stable. Why is this decision very important?
See, in the last 1 year, we saw a lot of consolidation of these insurance companies. Government had gone for, there was process of merger has happened. But now that whole process has been completed. The merger process has ceased now. So now instead we want to focus on their solvency and profitable growth. So that would require what is called capital infusion post the merger and post asset management. So the idea is that whatever has to be utilized optimally. So already the government has issued, the guidelines in the form of key performing areas and indexes that is aimed at bringing business efficiency. So this, in terms of financial implications for the government, is that this will cost about 3,475 crore. And this will go into the 3 public sector, namely Oriental Insurance, National Insurance, and United India Insurance. And the first part will be 3,400 crores, followed by another 6,475 crores. The idea is this capital will enable these 3 public sector general insurance companies to improve their financial position.
The Agriculture Minister, Mr. Tomar, also talked about the farmer situation, and he also said that good buffer stock of food grains this time. So there are a number of steps that are also being taken to ensure that the farmers get their correct price of their produce.
The money, about 1 lakh crore, was announced as part of that pandemic relief package. So that will be given as loans to these primary agriculture credit societies, marketing cooperative societies, farmer producer organizations, and self-help groups. So the idea is loans will be dispersed in 4 years for starting any agriculture related work. And the government has already kept aside 10,000 crore in the current year. And for the next 3 financial years, there will be 30,000 crore each year. And all these loans will have an interest subvention of 3% per annum and up to a limit of 2 crore. The idea is that the farmers and agricultural activity should be encouraged to take benefit of this. And the government is looking at, particularly the farmer producer organization, to take advantage of this and create the necessary infrastructure that is required in the agriculture sector.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You were listening to a discussion on cabinet decision. The participants were Shekhar Iyer, political analyst, and Nilab Srivastav, journalist. This program was produced and presented by the News Services Division of All India Radio. You can listen to it on our mobile app, News on AIR. This program is also available on our website, newsonair.com. You may email your opinion about this program at airnsdtalks@gmail.com.